One day I got a message on Instagram from a guy. He says that, Dada, I follow your content for a long period of time and I just want one help from you. I was like, yeah, please, sure, ask me. And he said that, I just want to know that how to get started reading. I was like, why do you need my help there? Do you need any book recommendation or anything? He said, no, I have a book in mind, but I don't have any time. I don't know when to get started. Like, when is the right time to start reading? I don't have any time. I have work, I have, responsibilities of families, and there are lots of people live in our family and that I can't get time to actually read. I was like, yeah, that's all okay, but why don't you read now? You're just chatting with me. He says that, no, I can't do that right now. I was like, why? What are you doing right now? He says that I'm in a bus. I am going to the office. I was like, yeah, okay, that's fine. Why can't you read at bus? He's like, it's too crowded. I was okay. Why do you think you can't read in a crowded bus? He says that it's hot and I can't just concentrate. I said that, yeah, that makes sense. But don't you think you should at least try? Have you tried reading at bus? He says, no, never. See, here's the thing, guys. We spent a lot of time in our commute. When I was going to the office, mostly I, do work from home 99% of the time nowadays. But before COVID, I used to take a lot of commute. There is almost like 40 to 45 minutes commutes to my work. And, once I thought that I won't be using that time, I thought that, okay, that's the time, I'm gonna waste anyway. I'm just gonna, look at sceneries, or maybe I'm just gonna, curse my life that it's too hot in the bus and whatnot. But later I figured out that this is the time that I can do a lot of things. So initially it started very small. What I started doing is that I started listening to audiobooks. And one tip that I want to give you guys, if you guys don't have any neckbands, I highly recommend that you purchase one. If you don't know what neckbands are sort of like these are earphones, but it actually attaches to your neck and go through to your ear. So if you're not sure about it, you can search it on the Amazon. You will find definitely great neckbands. It is amazing if you are commuting through the bus. So I purchased a neckband and I was listening to audiobooks because it's very hard to actually take wired headphones on the bus, and it is actually really cumbersome when you are on a crowded bus. So I started listening to audiobooks. Initially I could not focus, but later, when I keep doing it, I was enjoying my ride. I was enjoying my ride more. I started listening to podcasts then. I started enjoying long conversations because podcast is something that I used to watch generally on YouTube, mostly the TRS, the Ranveer Show podcast. But later, I started listening to them on my phone. And then I started enjoying it. And I was like feeling that a lot of us actually curse our life, curse our work that we don't get time. But if you think about it, if you have a commute time in your life, maybe it's 1 hour or maybe it's a 2 hour in total. Most people in India have this kind of commute. Maybe some people have more of this commute. Like I'm one of my colleague. He takes around 3 hours to come from his place. So if he used to come to our work at 10 a.m., he needs to get out of his home at 7 a.m. Think about it, guys. And he'd take around 6 hours of commute to actually do this. He could have taken a new job at that time, right? So it's a huge time that we are not actually using. So commute time is the best time that it can make you productive if you are actually using it very nicely. So let me give you some tips here. So the first thing is that start small. You don't need to think about using the whole time. Just give yourself, if your commute is like almost 45 minutes to an hour, you can tell yourself that, hey, in 20 minutes I'm gonna read or listen to a book, right? So if you can do that, if you can manage past that time, you can obviously increase this time, right? But for most of the people, they can't really concentrate on the commute. So for me, I sometimes can't really concentrate on the reading books or stuff because sometime I'm listening to a conversation of people that is talking behind me. They're talking about a very nice topic, and I got distracted here. Sometimes this kind of stuff happens, right? Or somebody is cursing someone at the bus, like, hey, why are you doing this? Why are you taking my place and all that? They are actually work as a very big distraction when you are actually doing listening to some kind of stuff or reading a book or consuming any sort of information, or if it is a very tough information that's going to be very hard for you. So in that case, you can create something, right? So if you are if you have something in your mind, right, that I will do something with your life, I have some goals that I want to accomplish, right? You can make your to-do list also on the commute, right? Start very, very small. Start making to-do list on your commute that, hey, I'm gonna schedule my days like this. Hey, I'm gonna do this at that hour, I'm gonna do this at this hour. You can schedule your time and place to do a specific task on this commute, right? If in that case, you don't need that much of brain power, right? And in the when I was commuting, I was doing this amazing stuff, is that I used to communicate with my Instagram followers. I used to go there and engage with my people. I used to engage with different kind of things, and I used to like that because my Instagram feed was all about books and books related things, non-fiction books especially. I used to enjoy it. I used to love this commute because in this commute I was giving my brain something that it likes. I'm not taking in information which I don't like, right? And sometimes I used to create post as well. Sometimes maybe I have created a reel at home, and I just at the commute I just write something at the commute and just post it. That's it. That reel would have to post this kind of reel and do some little bit of hashtag research would take me around 30 to 40 minutes, which I did on the commute very nicely. And I also had like 5 minutes to communicate with the people for engagement, right? It's beautiful. If you're not using your commute as a productive time, you're wasting a lot of time in your life. A lot of time. So one thing you should start doing is that figuring out that how much time you take at least on your commute. If you're working from home, that is not an option for you. Obviously, you have a lot of time. If you're still working from home and if you're saying that, okay, hey, I don't have any time in my life. Oh, come on, please. I can't tell you. I can't help you. God even can't help you. You have a lot of time, right? So if you're commuting, please try to use that time as a productive time. Obviously, find something, schedule something for yourself, and do not, think about it on the commute. Some people, what mistake I used to initially do is that in the commute, I used to think that, hey, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to, create a post. Maybe I'm going to engage with the people. Maybe I'm going to create a to-do list. Do not do that. Decide it earlier and do the task on the commute, right? Decide one or two things at least, right? So if you are comfortable with, say, I decide that I'm going to listen to an audiobook, that I decided that, hey, I'm going to listen to this, a specific audiobook, or maybe I'm going to create post. Sometimes I don't like to read, listen to the audiobook because there are lots of chattering and something. Then I, go to that engaging with my people, right? So that's what I used to do. So if you're not using your commute time, start using from today. So, and if you like this podcast, don't forget to give 5 stars from wherever you're listening to, and don't forget to subscribe as well. And if you have any message or query, we are ImpleBooks at Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. So that's it for today. Have a good day.